Using the total solar eclipse to open up your spiritual gifts is a once in a lifetime event. In this Channeling Spirit Friday, our live show, we're talking about how to use this event to open up your gifts, how to prepare your body and your mind for this total solar eclipse, and how you can use this to enhance your intuitive and psychic experiences. I'm here with my gal pal, Rachel Swanee, and we are channeling on both of our stations every Friday live at 12 noon. I'm so excited that you're all here for this weekly channeling event. Hey, Rach, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Going really good.
Hello, everyone. I'm just working with my mic here. It's having some issues, so don't mind me. I'm excited to be here. Excited that we're going live for the first time on YouTube in a long time. And welcome everyone from my group and Con's. Hello in the comments.
Beautiful. You know, so the big topic that we want to make sure that we're channeling and getting across is the total solar eclipse is coming. Now, there is a solar eclipse that happens every 18 months, a total solar eclipse, which means the moon covers in front of the sun completely. The difference this time, though, is that the distance of where the moon is towards the earth and how close it is towards the sun. And the last time it was like this was something like 200 years ago. So the only time that we're going to experience this type of event is now and maybe in another 200 years. So this really is a once in a lifetime event. What we're tuning into is that it's going to be profound. There's a shift between light and dark and a balance between the two. And these are some of the questions that we want to just channel at the start here so people can prepare themselves for the spiritual eclipse that's coming. The bonus on top of this, on Sundays, I'm starting live meditations on this YouTube channel as well, where at 10 a.m. we're going to do meditations. The first one is going to be to prepare your body and open up your DNA, get you spiritually activated for this total eclipse. And it's going to be done the day before the eclipse. So I hope you're going to join that. So let's start by just thanks everybody for being here. And let's just talk about this first thing. What I want to actually just ask first is why, I want to see what Spirit has to say, why this total solar eclipse is different. And maybe we just want to tune in to whoever comes in. Good with that, Rachel?
Yeah, I'll tune in, see what comes through.
All right, what do you want to say?
Sorry, my mic. Oh my God.
All right. Well, I'm ready to go. I'm going to start us off, and I know you're going to round it up really deep. This eclipse is different because it's also part of the time of Aquarius. And during this time of Aquarius is a path of enlightenment. When this eclipse comes through, an energy beam of light will be radiating through the planet. Now, there's been a charge up of these particles and energy through the planet as we approach the total solar eclipse. This buildup of the energy that we're going to see, or this light of energy that comes through, is going to awaken people and activate them all. You don't have to be in the light. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be hiding in a cave. This light is going to go and activate you. When people begin to receive this activation, there's going to be a sense of enlightenment that happens within them, something that they will question within themselves. Some might think that they're going crazy, but this will also create great polarization between all of your people. Now, this has been happening already with your society as your governments have been creating separateness within each person and creating smaller groups. But what this evil force is leading you away from is that you are unity. We are all one. Each and every one of us are brothers and sisters. And in that energy will be an awakening to activate and remind us that we're not separate. We are one. We are all the same. And this reminder will awaken people, and it'll create a shift in you if you allow it. if you allow the shift to happen, great things will happen for you. Those of you who are currently on the path of enlightenment and awaken, and we preface that by saying all of us are enlightened already. We are remembering that we are enlightened, and this light will help you in getting closer to the remembering of who you are. Much more can be spoken on this, but I'm going to stop this transmission, and they want me to pass over to Rachel now. Rachel?
Yeah, so I was listening to you, and I'm like, yeah, spot on. Like, that's kind of that's how I kind of view it as well. But just when they first started to come in, all I was hearing was there's a lot of energy coming in from the sun. And they're saying, like, right now that it's like a lighthouse of source energy. So it's like a beacon or a lighthouse of source energy coming in full force. And it was destined to come in on this time for the great shift, for the great awakening. So it's like a marker or precursor for what's to come, that there's going to be a lot of collective shadow work that's going to need to be done, because the bringing in more source light means you're exposing more of the dark. So the light shines on the dark, and the dark begins to scatter and hide. And it's got to find like new corners, new strategies, new ways to kind of get to make their mark. Unfortunately, they don't have the type of power that we as light workers have on the planet right now. And this is going to give us like a boost of power, a boost of light. So we as light workers, if you're tuning into a source already, and you're already on, your highest path, and you're doing this collective, you've been doing the collective work, then for you, it's going to feel like a boost of power, like a power boost, a boost up. You might have ascension symptoms. I'm not saying that, you won't, because there's a lot of light coming in, and that has to filter through our physical bodies as well. But at the same time, it's going to give us all the power we need to keep pushing ahead. And what I've noticed in the last month with my own self, and also those that I work with in my Patreon group and my clients, is that there's a lot of energy. Like, March was a big month for like clearing out old stuff, like old karma, anything that just does not serve you anymore, anything that doesn't align with your authentic self, your higher self. Like, the guides have been pushing me really hard to really get clear on a lot of things. And it was a tough month for me, because it was just back to back to back stuff coming up, like stuff that I wouldn't have even predicted would come up. But it was just time to clear that out. And I know it's because they're preparing us for something. They're preparing us for this shift. They know the shift is coming. So work with your spirit guides, work with your team. The galactics are coming in heavier as well right now, because I think this shift is preparing us to meet and become more activated to who our starseed families are, what our starseed origins are. I feel like part of this great awakening on a mass scale is going to open us up, and the collective, even those who are still like spiritually unconscious or asleep at this time, to really be more tuned to that idea that there's more than just us on this planet, and there's other things going on, and they're just trying to tune our energy so we can open up more to the new galactic frequencies, and how the galactics want to work more one-on-one with us. And they're really stepping forward at this time as well. So another interesting thing is, I kept hearing, and they kept playing this song, or just telling me about this song called Total Eclipse of the Heart. That's what I was hearing. So I looked up the lyrics. So I feel like that's just kind of a song that represents the high amount of transformation that's going to come through, like where you were crying, you're going to see the light. I also have been receiving downloads about twin flames, twin flame activations, twin flame unions. I had a twin flame activation yesterday with my twin flame in spirit. So they're definitely showing that there's a new wave of twin flame unions on the horizon. Those tend to come into like play more around these high energy level portal dates. So if you feel like you're connecting to your twin flame, or you don't know who they are, that might start coming through for you as well. So just a lot of stuff happening, really. And I did my best to cover what I know, but hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I have a few more questions that was coming up before this live, and I'm going to answer them. In the meantime, I'm just going to mention to people, if you have any questions, please post it, whether it's a question about the total solar eclipse, a question just for spirit, for your own messages, about your Kundalini awakening, ask. And talking about Kundalini awakening, what we're being told is that this total eclipse is going to help open up your Kundalini. We've had a lot of people in our courses begin to have their own awakening, and one person had a Kundalini awakening. So I want to ask Spirit that specifically about how will this event assist us in opening up our Kundalini. And let's check. If you're ready to go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just hearing it's going to help us align all of our chakras, get them into balance. But the way that we do that is by unplugging from all the false programming, all the false belief systems, all the false paradigms, the ones that are no longer serving us, the ones that keep us in victim or powerless mode. This is really a time to step into our power and really step into our sovereignty, that we are not victims, that we do to step in from a victim mode to an empowered mode is kind of what they're showing. So it's like, now is the time, and you don't want to be late to the ball. And I have David Bowie, who I've been working with like a lot in the last couple of weeks. He's been one of my guides for a long time. I have a video of his I channeled back in 2021 or 2022, I can't remember, 2022 I think, on my channel. But he's one of my head spirit guides, and he's really stepped up to take charge and lead from a galactic perspective as well, because he's very multidimensional. But he's been working really closely with the people in my Patreon group, and he's just been showing me all the ways that he's helping us as a spirit guide. But he keeps reminding me that, we are living in a matrix. It is a labyrinth of sorts, like that movie that he starred in, where there's a lot of trickster energies. There's a lot of confusion. It's meant to be that way. Things are not what they seem. And so, but the key is to stay true to yourself, stay true to your heart chakra. You need to really feel into what feels resonant for you and what doesn't. And so what he was telling me yesterday is kind of coming back up. He kept saying like the man in the mirror, but like, it's all about looking in the mirror and really seeing what parts of you where are you not being your most authentic self? Where are you people pleasing? Where are you saying things, doing things that just don't align with who you are anymore? Because our identities are shifting and changing at such a fast rate. And that's what this clearing work is about. Once you clear a bunch of old stuff, then you see a new side of yourself wanting to come out. And that new side of yourself comes out in a very empowered way. So you need to give that side of yourself a voice and power. So there's a lot of throat chakra clearing happening right now too. And you're being, this is what he was saying earlier, you're being called to step into new roles. So what he was showing me is that there's a lot of shifts and changes. These energies come in and they reroute everybody and they put everybody in new positions. So it's not that where you were at was wrong, but you may no longer resonate with that teacher, that belief system, that paradigm, whatever. And you might, that friend group, like whatever, that relationship, like all these things are coming in and they're being called into question. So really look at all the areas in your life where you just like aren't feeling it anymore. It's just not giving you what you need to stay in that empowered sovereign mode. So you really want to keep your energy lines clear and pure of any frequencies that just don't resonate with you anymore. So that's kind of what this work is really about. And when he says, don't be late to the ball, it's like it's time to get serious. Like, it's time to cut the BS and just do the work. Like, just get rid of that thing that just isn't giving you a good feeling anymore. Just move on and follow your bliss, follow your passion. Now is the time, because that's where the wave of that passion and bliss is going to carry you so much more forward, so much more faster at an accelerated rate. And it's going to bring in all the abundance and all the blessings that are coming your way, because we are being showered with a lot of blessings at this time in abundance to keep us going. So just tune to the light, you know, and do the shadow work, and don't put it off. I wrote a post from him yesterday about the 4/4 on my Medium Facebook public page. And that's what he was saying. He was just like, talking about all that stuff. Like, now's the time. He was saying, don't hit the snooze button. It's time to wake up. Just stop hitting the snooze, you know? So yeah, he's very punctual, David Bowie, as a guide. So he'll keep you on task.
I love that. So I'm asking about using the event to open up the Kundalini, and they're saying allow yourself to open yourself up. Now, we're going to go through this specifically during the meditation, the activation, spiritual activation on Sunday, where it'll prepare your Kundalini. But there's a preparation that will happen. We will talk about how to prepare the mind and body next. But in terms of the Kundalini, it is a process of allowing. As you allow yourself, it's not just allowing that energy to pass through, it's allowing the balance of dark and light, the yin and yang, the good and bad. It's allowing and accepting whatever's happening in the world. If you decide to focus on very low vibrational events that's happening around the world, that's the type of energy that you're going to open up. When we're talking about the Kundalini energy, you want to open that up. It's very light. It's very high vibe. It's white, bright light. And as you think about the events, know that it's supposed to happen. When people are angry, they're in turmoil, they're not necessarily angry against you. They're angry against themselves, because they can feel the conflict within themselves. And as they focus on the conflict, they're just spending time in the conflict, and that doesn't open up your awareness. As you move into the light of energy and breathe and feel the light and allow yourself to accept the love and be on the understanding part and understand the conflict, that people are in conflict, that it's okay, the Kundalini will begin to open up, and you'll actually feel a bit of an energy come to the crown and move through your pineal gland. This is actually going to happen for us, that through the meditation, they're going to show this light that comes through in not only moving through each chakra, they'll also open up a flow on how to open up and move the energy up and down. They've been doing that a lot in our Enlightened Mastery community meditations. They've been bearing us quite diligently with this stuff. And there's been like mini Kundalini preparation stuff, really work on the pineal gland, having energy come in through behind the head and right at the base of your skull. That little dip happens. They have us breathing energy in, feel it coming in through the pineal gland and coming out through the forehead and moving through. So really, to open up and allow this to have this as a Kundalini effect is to move yourself into a process of allowing. That not only means allowing the energy to pass through you, it's allowing people to be in turmoil and conflict, because that's just what they need to do. It's as if you're watching a child begin to walk. And when a child first begins to walk, it's not pretty. And we're not going to chastise that child and say, that's not how you walk. You allow them to. So as people are going through conflict and war, and they're having infighting with each other and others, we want to allow them to have that, because people need to work it out themselves. And this energy will help that process in working it out. Good. So the next question that comes through is, how do we prepare the body and the mind coming up to the solar eclipse? And I will preface this again. If anyone has any questions that you want, messages or whatnot, please post it out and we'll mark it off, and we'll get to it as soon as we have a couple more questions about. We're almost done. We're ready for your questions. So how do we prepare the mind and the body before the total solar eclipse, Rachel?
Let me just see what they want to share.
Yeah.
Well, they just keep stressing water, staying hydrated, listening to your body, following your own inner guidance as to they're talking about like watching your energy levels, like watching how much you give out and how much you are receiving. Like make sure you're giving time to receive as well. So a lot of us sometimes get stuck in doer mode and we're giving a lot of energy, or we're paying too much attention to energy that is actually distracting us from being in our center. So they're talking about practices where you just stay in the present moment, keep yourself, and they're talking about your mind, keep your mind in the present moment. So they're also showing taking deep breaths. When you catch your mind racing or overthinking, it's just only deal with what's in front of you. Don't be too concerned about what's going to happen, worrying about the future or what already happened that you can't change, what happened in the past. Just focus on what's happening in the present and take it step by step, day by day, because really there's a lot of beautiful things that are happening. And like Khan mentioned already, it's not the time to focus on, they're going to try to distract you with like news stories and just things that are gonna like get you riled up, your nervous system, your emotional system. So it is a time for detoxing of the emotional energy. So the more you can meditate, maybe like increase your meditations at this time in preparation so that you can give your nervous system a break, because it is kind of being bombarded right now with these high frequency codes. But at the same time, they're going to be bombarding us with that. They're going to be bombarding us with the negative stuff too, in the same, balance. So our systems are going to be like taking on a heavy load. And a lot of these frequencies they're showing me are broadcast in the airwaves. They're unseen, they're invisible. So even if you're one that's like, well, I don't watch the news and I don't do that, just know that just being in the environmental conditions that, they've created for us to be in, is like we're battling that even unconsciously. Like our bodies are feeling that, like these signals are meant to create like a chaotic scramble in our brain waves and all of that. So it takes a little extra conscious effort to really stay tuned to the higher frequencies and bring in the joy, bring in the laughter, bring in the fun. If something feels too stressful or you don't have an answer for that problem, ask spirit to help you. Take your mind off of it, go to something else that does bring in that high vibrational frequency. The inner child wants to play all the time. Make sure you're addressing the inner child that wants to play. Are you too focused on work? All of these ways are going to help us stay balanced in our own systems. And so anything that does come in that tests us or challenges us isn't going to have such a great impact or chaotic impact on our lives. So we'll be able to focus more on or see more clearly what the higher path is. And they always remind me to stay neutral when there is conflict around you. Just stay the neutral observer and allow, like Khan had said earlier, people to work things out the way they need to. So it's not about, being overly concerned about other people and how they're going to handle that and what's going to happen and how that's going to work itself out. It's really just you stay balanced in your center and you stay clear in your energy, and you will be available to help anyone that needs it if that's truly what you're being called to do in the moment that you're called to do it. So just trust in your guides, trust in your process is what they're saying.
Yeah. So specifically, when we think about preparing, so you've talked great detail about preparing the mind, which is beautiful. Now, in terms of the body, preparing the body specifically for the energy and the shift that's happening with the total solar eclipse, water was mentioned. What you can do is is what I'm hearing is activated water. And in order to activate your water, whatever container that your water is in, spin it, turn it. And this is going to actually add electron particles into the water. The cells in our body, in order to receive water, much of them cannot receive. How they do enter in is these aqueducts that are in the cells. And they're talking about, by activating the water, the activated water will enter into these cells. Now, the reason why we're preparing the body with water is we are primarily water bodies. And most of us are dehydrated. We don't drink enough water. We have coffees and other things that isn't necessarily better. But specifically on the water, they're saying activate the water, as we just said. It also is avoid the certain foods that might not be in our best. Live vibrational foods, a lot of fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. That has not only H2O, but it has a H2O3, an additional layer of oxygen and hydrogen that's entered the cell that'll really plump it up. So in order to prepare the body for the total solar eclipse, get lots of water, reverse osmosis, Celtic sea salt in there, stir it up before you drink it to activate it, lots of fruits and vegetables, and avoid a lot of the stuff that isn't good. You know, when you grab that coffee, you say, okay, I need that coffee. I like that coffee so much, but you also know this isn't necessarily good for me. You know, because your body is not going to lie to you. So they're saying, listen to your body, feed it high vibrational foods, and activated water. Activated water is being highlighted. Activate your water. And it's so simple. Just you notice this, as if you've ever done this is con ego talking. If you ever had a glass of water that might have sat overnight and you've drunk it and it tastes flat, there's a certain nothingness to it. But as soon as you pour a fresh glass of water, there's more vibrancy to it. You can do an experiment by taking 2 glasses of water, leave them overnight, and stir one of them, and notice what happens the next day. Activated water will plump up your cells much better, and that will prepare your body much more easier for this activation that's happening on Monday. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, and I've heard that too from other mediums from that have channeled that from spirit as well, about the Celtic sea salt. And I've been, I think I've mentioned this in one of our courses to you, Con, but I was guided to put the Celtic sea salt, a couple pieces on my tongue and let it like absorb, because it does something that way to help the cells retain the water more. And also the medium said that it was going to help metabolize the energy from the high frequency light codes better. Like it helps your cells do that somehow. So that really that's a good tip, and all that you mentioned on too.
Yeah. So this is because we're dealing with high vibrational energy, and this is just my ego talking here. Because we're dealing with high vibrational energy, we are electrical beings, and electricity moves. Well, you can have current running through electricity, but it moves even more through salt water. And the Celtic sea salt, not just table salt, because table salt is void of all the minerals. You say Celtic sea salt because it's full of the nutrients and minerals that our body needs. It contains all the minerals that our body needs in order to activate it. When you add salt into your body, it helps the electrical charge help things move better. So this is why we say reverse osmosis cleans all the garbage out of the water that's added. Adding Celtic sea salt into the water or putting a big chunk into your mouth and just sucking on it will directly put the minerals into your tongue. Even underneath your tongue, that will be absorbed into the bloodstream directly. So that's definitely key. Water, for sure. The last question I have, and again, if anybody has any questions, not only for the total eclipse, but just for spirit in general, please ask it now, post it out, and we'll answer it. The last question that was coming up before this was, how do we use the total solar eclipse to enhance your intuitive and psychic experiences? So let's see what Spirit has to say about that.
With me, they just keep highlighting third eye activations. So, and they're highlighting like meditate with the sun energy. Yeah, there's just saying because there's higher amounts of light coming in, it's awakening all the cells in our body. It's like tuning all the cells of our body to these higher frequencies. So I feel like we're going to be receiving more downloads, clearer thought streams from Spirit. They just want you to tune to Spirit because it's really a choice. Like everybody's a medium, but it's just, how do you practice mediumship? Are you really tuning to source? Are you really asking the questions? Are you really trying to connect with your guides? If you're trying to connect with your guides, then no, they're already connecting with you. So like those guides that you're thinking about, that's them reaching out to you. So if you understand how your team communicates with you all day long, every day, medium or not, they're intercepting your thoughts, they're trying to keep you on the right track, then really it just becomes a matter of being more observant of your thoughts and what thoughts feel like they're yours and what don't. And you can meditate with different guides so you can get more clear on the frequency of the energy of that particular being and how it feels, so that you can better pick up on that being's thoughts or communication with you, or when they're around you. But Spirit communicates in many different ways, and we teach this in our 101 course more in depth. But you're going to get messages, so pay attention to the divine synchronicities. Those are probably going to start really speeding up as well. You know, we talk about seeing like 1111 and the number sequences, but there's so many ways that Spirit communicates with us, like literally all day long. Like I'm constantly talking to my guides all day long and they're talking back. They can hear your thoughts. So you don't have to like go all out and be like, oh my gosh, I need to specifically sit down and ask this guide a question. It's like, no, if you're thinking about that guide, they already hear you. If you're having thoughts, they already know what you're asking. So they're going to try to get messages to you more and more because they really are stepping up. Like when I say stepping up, I mean like guides that I've known I've had, like David Bowie, for example. All of a sudden, it's like he's showing me more stuff about how he's been helping me, like in ways that I didn't previously know. So they're going to just be coming more forward and forward, but you have to ask, you have to be wanting that type of communication. So I just feel that the more you're putting your awareness on it, the more it's going to come through. And it's definitely a peak time to be doing that because like Khan said early on, this is affecting the whole collective consciousness, whether you're, into spirituality, awakened or not awakened. It's going to have some kind of effect in raising the frequency and helping people to at least see where they're out of alignment in their lives. And sometimes that does require bad things, what we would call bad things, but like challenging things to happen to wake people up faster, and get them to really see, hey, that's not working anymore. I need to go over here. So if something just stops working, don't take it too seriously. Just go the other way. And my guides also tell me that all the time. They're like, don't take things too seriously. Like you're eternal beings and you're going to get it. Like, just don't be hard on yourself because, we're supposed to be having fun and enjoying our time through this awakening process as well. Just want to throw that side note in there. Yeah. So
let me just tune in here. How can we use this total eclipse to enhance our intuitive and spiritual abilities? Allow. Now, this one's already spoken about the kundalini awakening. What people don't know is once you're kundalini awakening, it doesn't mean that you're just enlightened. It means that you begin to connect with beings and spirits beyond your 5 physical senses, where you start to have intuitive and mediumship abilities, much like these two are doing on this live show. The biggest process in using this energy is to allow the messages to come through, allow the energy of spirit to come through, allow your voice to communicate it. Now, each of you will have a dominant, clear communication method to connect with spirit. Some might be visually, audibly, or through hearing, or through speaking, or sensation and just knowing. So there's many ways of how you're going to feel this. Notice which one. Allow them all to come in. Open yourselves up and feel the energy. If you allow the energy to come through and you allow yourself to open up to the process, it will enhance you. Now, regardless of where you are in the world, the energy will enhance you. It will. And as you move yourself into a state of allowing, you will instantly open up your intuitive abilities simply by allowing. Now you're allowing the abilities to open up your intuition and your psychic experiences. You're allowing, and you notice that your ego, your mind state will pop in. Now, know the majority of your thoughts are not your own. So you'll have a thought as like, I'm having an experience, but then your ego will say, you're going crazy. You're not going crazy. Those thoughts are not yours. Set those aside and allow. As you allow, because those thoughts that you have come in, or the feelings, they feel good, and the ego makes you feel bad because it's questioning you. We'll focus on the good feeling and allow yourself and allow it. And this will enhance your intuitive and psychic experiences simply by allowing. Wonderful.
Yeah, that really is the key. You just have to stick with the thought coming in and don't tune to the ego when you're thinking, am I going crazy? Okay, no, you're on the wrong frequency. Get back on the other frequency and just keep, it'll start coming in steady, and then it'll come in faster than you can even think what's coming in. So that's how you know, like, it's coming from your guides. There was a comment about the music possibly being too loud or maybe a bit distracting.
I just saw that and turned that down. Thanks, Bichu.
Okay.
Let us know if that's better. I've turned it down a bit. Please let me know if the music is better.
And I have to apologize if for some reason my internet is like in and out, because it's just been bad on my end lately. So when I watch it back, I might be like paused and frozen, but as long as you can hear what I'm saying, we're good.
Yeah, that's it. So we're going to get to some of your questions now. And the first one is with Babette. And Babette is the earthquake in New York City this morning related to the April 8th solar eclipse? Wow, I didn't even know that an earthquake happened.
I didn't know about it either.
Is the earthquake related? It's all related. This is a shift of energy. This is a buildup of the polarization we spoke about earlier, the dark and the light. As this buildup of energy is happening, know you're going to have a lot of eruptions and earthquakes and shifts. This is the earth letting go of energy, taking it and preparing itself to receive what it needs. This also is allowing all of you to focus on what is important in your life. What is important for you to focus on? Is it having more money, having more fame, being right about your own thinking mind, how you want to be represented? That is not as important as just being in a loving, nurturing society where people take care of each other. So this earthquake that's happening not only in New York City, but know that this earthquake is happening underground. Because it showed up in New York City, it's happening right across your countries. Primarily in the United States right now, where you're going to have that. You're going to see this happening in California as it moves towards that side as well, towards the west coast of the states. And this is, again, notice what's happening in your mind. When an event like this happens to you, where does your mind go? Does it go into fear? Does it go into anger? Notice that. And it's okay to be in fear, because this is an honest reaction of your body. It's where you need to tune into your body, say, you're safe. You're perfectly safe. I'm with you. I love you. I'm here with you. No harm is going to come to you. Ultimately, the body is a element of the earth. As we leave this body, or the body decides to end, it will go back to the earth. We will never be harmed. And as spirits, we are energy. No harm will come to you. And that is an honest saying, because there is no harm or pain. The fear is the conditioning that we receive in this life. So let the thought of these low vibrational events go, or observe it, observe the energy and notice how it feels and address it how you feel. Yeah. Rachel?
I think that's pretty well said. I was just getting like, not necessarily directly related, like the cause of it, but like Khan was saying, everything is related, everything is interconnected, because Mother Earth is going through shifts and changes, and like we are. So they were just showing me the connection between our bodies and the body of Mother Earth, the microcosm, the macrocosm, and the microcosm. So whatever's happening with our bodies is happening to her body, and understand that, like, yeah, those things will continue to manifest because we are also, as humans, experiencing those like symptoms, so to speak, of this accelerated shift. You know, it's an accelerated shift, and so a lot has to change in a short period of time. And because of that, things like that happen and manifest to kind of wake people up or move people around, or just get out what needs to get out, because she's got to release energy as well. So there's things going on in her system that is also wanting to break free and be released energetically. So yeah, that makes sense. That yeah.
And Babette says, I will not focus on the fear. Absolutely. But you know, it's not necessary not to focus on the fear. Give your fear the attention that it's asking for. It's an honest reaction of your body that says, I'm in fear. The body will not lie to you. Yes, body, I'm here with you. I love you. Bashar, we talked about this yesterday on our Patreon. I've been working with this amazing, really powerful tool. Bashar came through, and he says, acknowledge it. First, acknowledge it. Second, use a sentence to complete a circuit. So first, I am feeling fear, because I choose to believe it, because I must. You fill in the blank. So I am feeling fear because I choose it as part of my path, because I choose that I must. And as you complete that circuit, there's a bit of calming in the body. So allow yourself to let that go a bit. You know, yeah, but definitely don't avoid it, because that's what we've been taught to avoid it. Pay attention to it. Give it the attention that it's asking for. I see you. I love you. I'm here with you. You're not alone. And let it go. Yeah. Jim surmises it perfectly. The word I hear lately is allow. You know, I mean, we've been hearing allow for years on absolutely everything, and that's harder to do than it's easier to say than do. Right?
It's a practice, lifelong.
Yeah.
For most of us.
We're coming to Soul Transmissions here, who asks, may I have a message from my team, please? Jump in whenever you're ready. Are you ready?
I got distracted by a comment. I'm sorry. So
no problem. No problem. So
maybe that was intentional, though.
What does Soul need to hear from her team right now? You know, Soul, I feel you're on not only a precipice, an element of change. The feeling is that you're on a big spiritual change. It's really big for you. And what it feels like, this is an accumulation of all the experiences and events and the buildup that you've been going through for the last number of years in your spiritual awakening, in understanding yourself, and in dealing with your shadows and your emotions. And it feels like pressure is building up in you right now. And there's going to be a big release, because in every release, there's a relief. And it feels like you're going to have such a good relief. Anytime we relieve pressure and just feel a little better, it's like, oh my God, it feels so good. And this seems like it's going to be a real good one for you. Yes, you're going to feel a lot of pressure. You're also going to receive a lot of relief over the next 30 days. Because remember, the eclipse is an activation, but we're going to continue to experience the effects of the eclipse for 6 months. Yeah, Rachel, what did you get?
When I tuned in, I just heard there's a lot of spirit energies around you. So I was just trying to figure out which one wanted to come in. And then it was the elementals that wanted to come in. And I'm just hearing right now, as I'm saying that, there's like a lot of fairy beings around you. There's a lot of playful fairy energy around you right now. So they're wanting you to kind of tune into their vibration, and they're wanting you to play more. And they were really highlighting play outside, play in nature, the elementals. They're going to help you clear your energy. Uh-oh. Am I still here? I saw a little blackout on my screen with the internet. Okay, thank you. They're going to do a little energy cleanup work on you. So they want you to meditate with the fairies, meditate with your elemental being guides, and ask them to help you clear what needs to be cleared, so you can hear like their voice. But when they say their voice, they mean like your inner child's voice, because it feels like your inner child like needs something, like needs more attention from you in a way that maybe you haven't been honoring yourself lately in that aspect. So like what it wants to be heard. So I feel like your inner child might have a message for you, or just ways that you can have more fun and enjoy like what's going on, or like now, you know, in that way, just see a different what's going on in your reality, so you can get into the mode of play, so that like not take things too seriously in a certain sense, but observe them, and like Khan said, be part of that process, not run away, but just go while you're going through that process. Just make time for play. That's what they're saying. So like just to help balance out some of the heavier energies that you might be feeling or clearing. And that's really advice that they want all of us to kind of take on right now. And I just can't stop hearing like Freddie Mercury just like poking in, like, you know, like he's just got that type of energy that's just like, I don't really care too much. He jokes around all the time. That's kind of what you need more of, in a certain sense, but to cultivate that within yourself, to just kind of see the humor in life, see the sense of humor, see the lighter side of things, and just stay present with yourself, really, and just stay present with all the inner parts of yourself that want to speak and be heard. Beautiful. I love it.
This is my wife, so she always gets first billing.
Hi,
Rita. Rita is asking for a message today. So, and I think this is going to lead into 2 other questions that's going to be coming up for a couple of people. So this is good. This is a good start. Okay, what does Rita need to hear today? You're going through a purging state yourself, in a state of allowing. There's no mistake that you've been having physical changes in your body. As you're going through this process of the physical changes, you're noticing the conflict within you. As you address the conflict and you let it go, you're creating room for yourself to allow greater energy and spirit to come through. This change also means moving in a new direction in your life path. This also means a different way of how you work, how you connect with people, what you do on a day-to-day basis. There is a change of you changing spiritually more to your authentic self. And that means really changing up your business, your lifestyle, who's around you. And you're gonna if you move into a state of allowing and continue to release what's no longer serving you, you're going to allow the transition into the new life that you want for yourself to happen quickly and more smoothly, without as much trauma. Yeah. Rachel?
So as soon as like I heard your name or tuned in, I had Ganesh come through really, really strong for you. And so I was just kind of trying to figure out, what his message was or how he's helping you. But he's very childlike and playful. So, you start talking about inner child stuff, you're going to get, Ganesh might hear you and come in. But for you, he was showing me that he really wants to help you. He's also good at removing obstacles, like helping people manifest what they want to manifest. So he can work with you in that way. But he was basically just showing like he wants you to call on him more. And I was like, well, how can you help her? And that's what he started telling me. I can help her remove some of the obstacles. Then he started going into his advice for you, Rita, and it kind of matched up with what Khan was saying. He was saying, Ganesh was saying he wants you to focus on yourself more, your visions, your goals, your manifestations, what you want to create, not what others want you to create, what you want to create. Not how others feel about you, how you feel about yourself. Like just the feeling, what I'm being shown is just like more focused inward self-care time, like more time, like really tuning, probably also to your inner child, because your inner child has dreams, hopes, visions, things that they want to accomplish or see or used to dream about and fantasize about, that it's time to get those dreams and fantasies back into motion, into action mode. So tune back into that side of yourself and see how that side of yourself feels about where you're at in your life now. Is there more? Like, is there more that you dream of that would make your life feel more fulfilled, is what he's showing. Tune to those dreams and start working on ways which he can help you with, but other guides can too. Just notice the obstacles in your path to that. Continue to do the clearing and the energy and healing so that you can slowly diffuse those obstacles and be able to then at the same time take more action steps towards the things that are new that you want to create, or just what you want to do more of that you're already doing, that you really love and you really enjoy, and it keeps you super high vibe, keeps you in that zone more. He just wants you to be like in that like high vibe, laughter, I'm having the time of my life, everything is just awesome and easy peasy. That's what he's saying. So whatever that means for you is what he wants you to start doing more of or cultivating more of. And whatever is blocking you from that, he's like, get that out of the way, get that energy charge out of the way, because it's just weighing you down. Feels like there's things weighing heavy on your heart and heavy on your soul essence, meaning there's cords, there's something that's like draining your soul essence. You just feel drained. It's just like, like, can I get rid of this already? Or why am I having that? And so, yeah, he's just saying what he said. The advice he gave is just to tune more into the ways that the things that you can do that really give you that feeling of being in the zone and totally tuned and just like, I'm loving life right now. Do more of that, he's saying. Amazing.
I love that. Do you have fun, hon? Yeah. So Linda is coming through. She shows broke a bowl this morning, got red light ticket yesterday, lost a bathing suit, had my exhaust pipe welded, and need a new car all in the past week. Mercury retrograde, April 25th. Be careful. Asking for a message about why this is happening. And this is all going in line with everything else that's coming through. That it's allowing this polarization. It's allowing this change. But again, I'm speaking from knowing. What do you have to say about it? I'm seeing you being slapped in the face, but in a good way. It's like when someone says like, wake up, and they want to shock you out of like over talking, or, you're going off on a big tangent and someone slaps you in the face to snap out of it. And that's the feeling I see Cher in one of her movies, like snap out of it and just slapping you. and it's a wake up call for you. It's like you're focusing on the negative. This is what happened to me. This is what happened to me. Well, maybe that bowl needed to get rid of. Maybe that red light ticket you got was because there was a big accident in front that they didn't want you to get. Maybe that bathing suit was, if you did wear it, it was going to tear open and expose yourself completely to everybody. Maybe this is a good thing. The exhaust in your car, maybe your car was going to blow up. So this is bringing to your mind, where are you focusing your attention? Is it on the good? Is it on the bad? And this is what they're trying to get us to do, is they're going to bring all these things up for us. A lot of us are going to have these really weird events happening, which they have, and decide where you want to focus. Is this happening for me because I need to wake up, because I'm being protected? So when I see that, it's like, I don't know what this is all about. Thank you. And as you sit with it, maybe you'll have something revealed to you. Rachel?
Yeah, and oh gosh, where did I write it? Oh, okay. Well, you were talking about like getting slapped, and they were like, but it's like slapstick humor. It's like a silly slap. It's like like it's like the Stooges, you know? It's like meant to wake you up, but like meant to get you to see like really what, like they're just trying to say, they're kind of coming in now. Like, I think it was still Ganesh that was making that little joke earlier, but he's still with you now. So Ganesh is still here trying to help you as well. Linda, just saying, like, it's all part of the removing the obstacles. It's like, yeah, if there's something that isn't meant to be there anymore, and you're not fully conscious of why it's not meant to be there, it's not your business to be conscious of that. It's your business to just be willing to let it go. And that's kind of what the state of allowance is. It's like, allow the good and the bad to show up. And really bad is just our ego interpretation of what's bad. 3 months later, you might find out that, oh my God, if that and didn't happen, I wouldn't have had this opportunity come my way. So you'll get that knowledge in the future, but right now it's just your business to just let it go and not question why it happened so much, or even doubt that you're on the wrong path because it happened. Your question is to let it be and let it go, and fully knowing that whatever that was, even if you don't know why and what the benefit is yet, it was benefiting you somehow. So just knowing that, you can trust that, you know that something better is on the way, and that was in your highest timeline, that you needed that, all of that to happen to clear a path for something new to come in. So that's kind of just, the general like way they want us to start looking at these types of potentially bad things that we think. It's really the ego that's in there judging it. From a high spiritual perspective, nothing is good or bad. It's just all like moving energy. Energy is just moving. It's going from here to there. This wants to go from here to there. The car, needed something done, or I don't know, healing or whatever. And it had to show you that. And so, and they also want us to keep in mind that everything is timed in a very divinely orchestrated and aligned way to keep us on our path, to keep us on our higher timeline. So things like that might feel like, oh, now I'm being held back. You might be being held back for a reason. If you're genuinely feeling that's holding you back from something, then maybe there's a reason why, because it's just not fully formed over here yet. It's not ready yet. We need you to but if you take care of this, and this, then you'll be fully ready and you'll be more available for that energetically. So a lot of the stuff that we're clearing is stuff that's just holding us down energetically in a lower frequency. And that's why Spirit's going to help us clear that out. So if we look at it from that perspective, we can see that everything that happens is good. And we can just trust the process a little bit more.
Yeah, beautiful. Before I get into the next question, I have all of your questions marked. They just have us jumping to various ones because they want us to highlight those ones next. And the next one they want me to highlight is from Georgia. And Georgia says, my cat Siri passed away this night at 4:44. Is there a message with it for me? And the first thing I'm hearing is that this goes hand in hand with all the other messages that we've been talking about to wake people up, to shift you. But notice what the role of the cat does in lives. Dogs take away emotions. Cats are protectors. And cats are warding away evil, low vibrational spirits from our space. And this is their energy while they're very fierce. And they move between dimensions. It feels like your cat is moving between dimensions, and there's a need for it to operate in your life at a different dimensional level, at a higher dimensional level. And it was necessary for the cat to leave the physical plane in fully, because cats move in and out of dimensions frequently, but there was a need for the cat to move out of this dimension completely in order to repair one of your timelines. And that's in preparation for your next stage. I know that sounds freaking crazy.
No, not to me. Not to me.
Okay, great.
I'm because I just went through this recently with my horse. So sending you love. I had to put my horse down a couple of weeks ago, March 14th. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And I might get teary-eyed about it because she was like my best friend. But at the same time, well, first I heard when I just tuned into you was just they want us all to know that your pets are always with you, like on the other side too. It's like just like your loved ones who cross over, like they're with you, they're with them, your loved ones on the other side. So, you know, they don't leave your side just because they're not in the physical. A lot of us know that as mediums, but it doesn't make it any easier to like handle the loss of them not being here with us. But I can tell you, because I just went through this, that like I was able to communicate with my horse telepathically through the help of a professional animal communicator. Her name is Dee Survey. She's around on our Facebook Intuitive Soul Rising group and my Patreon group. But I highly recommend her because she helped me connect with my horse telepathically the day of, hours before actually we were going to put her down. And when I heard my horse's perspective of that, it was like, I'm ready to go, Mom. Are you gonna be okay though? Because she knows how sad I am, and our animals know that, and we do have the ability to speak with them telepathically while they're here and while they're on the other side. So having that connection with her, and then physically walking her through the process all the way down to the end, I saw, like, I felt, I experienced like death from an animal's perspective is like going home. It's like, hey, I'm ready to transition. They're okay with it. We as humans have a little bit more of a struggle because we have a lot of egoic attachments. But for them, like even my horse was showing me that like they're in a meditative state like most of the time. Like, so for them, it's like they're already in the astral realm. They're like, oh, I'm just going to be body. And if the body was sick and the body was unhealthy, then they are feeling ready and prepared for that. And their guides are going to prepare them as well. But at the same time, I was hearing that your cat is purring by your side. That's what they were showing me, because I've already had my horse visit me like days after, like, and I've seen her around me a lot. And also that it's a sign that your soul contract is up. Like the animals serve the purpose. The animal was here because the animals have their own life purpose, their own life path and mission, and why they come into our lives at certain times. And that's what my horse showed me very clearly. Our soul contract is up. You don't need me anymore like you think. Yeah, my inner child is still extremely sad and, missing her. But my adult side knows that that was the right time for her to go and understands why that chapter needed to close, and that it's not fully the end for us, in this lifetime or in future lifetimes, because we'll continue to be soul family and reincarnate together. But they have their own missions and purposes as well. So they know when the contract is up. So that's just, I hope that helps you, Georgia. But I do really feel your cat is around you right now too.
Yeah. So Georgia, consider reaching out to Survey for Animal Communicator. If you need to contact her, you can find Rachel's contact information in the description below, or reach her on her Facebook page. You can just search for Medium Rachel Swanee and find her there. Thanks, and our heart's with you, Georgia. Heart is with you. The next one that guided me to come to is Mary, and they want us to do just maybe some of these heavier ones, and this is pretty heavy. Mary says, my 29-year-old son is homeless in San Antonio in the Eclipse path. How can I best support him at this time? My partner forbids him living with us in Tennessee. Thank you. I feel that light, or that cast of shadow being washed over him, and it feels like a cleansing. It almost feels like if you're in that path, those that are guided to be in the path of the total solar eclipse is a feeling that it's like a waterfall of concentrated energy. And those that are in that path, because a lot of the major cities have a lot of homeless right now. I mean, there's homeless all over, especially throughout North America right now. And it feels like there's a cleansing that's happening. It's necessary for your son to be in this solar eclipse at this time. Things will change for him afterwards, because he needs to allow himself to heal. He's going through his own personal trauma, and he's not allowing himself to receive the help. And it feels like a lot of his own conditioning, that he feels that he needs to do it on his own, because he's been told you need to do it on your own. You need to take care of yourself. You need to support yourself. One of the hardest things that we need as humans, especially for men, is to ask for help, because the conditioning has always been, you got to do it on your own. You got to stand up, get on your feet, be a man. So for him, it feels like after the total solar eclipse, that he will understand that it's okay to ask for help. And in that, he'll be able to not only help himself, he'll be able to help others. It feels like it's his time that's coming through. Rachel, how about yourself?
Well, as soon as I tuned in to you, Mary, I had Mother Mary step forward really strong. And she wanted to say that she is here to support you at this time. She was showing me a blue ray. She wants you to call on her and Archangel Michael as well to bring in that blue ray healing, to meditate with that energy, just to feel like a sense of calm and soothing within your soul, because it's a very healing vibration, and it's going to keep you on your highest path as well, with whatever healing work you're doing right now, or just the love that you're sending, the prayers that you're sending for your son will be more felt and heard through that energy field. But that's what she's saying right now. But what she was saying to me earlier was, this is a Mother Mary thing, because she's done it with me many times. So I'm chuckling a little bit, but she's like, because your question is, how can I best support him at this time? And she changed that question to, how can you best support yourself at this time? So she wants you to take more of the focus off of supporting him and moving it to how you can support yourself through this time, because this is a challenging time to be as a mother who is in that situation. And so the more healing work you do with yourself, the more you're going to activate him as well is kind of what they're showing me, because there's such a love bond between a mother and a son that whatever healing the mother does, it transmutes to the son. It can, so it's going to help him from a distance. So that is how you can help him, by helping yourself, but it is helping him. You're helping both of yourselves, because your love for him is so strong. You have unconditional love for your son, and that is a healing force. And just pray to your guides to assist, Archangel Michael to assist, to watch over him, and to, help him hear his higher self as much as possible. But then they were also showing me that to have you remember that this is a soul path he has chosen, a challenge his soul and higher self has taken on, like, willingly from a higher soul perspective. So there are soul lessons and growth that, he's chosen to have through this experience. And that might be why he's blocked from returning home, because he hasn't had the full lesson yet, is kind of what the guides are showing. So it's like, yeah, your partner forbids living with you in Tennessee, but that might be because your spirit guides want him to have an experience a little bit longer. It's hard to understand it from that perspective, but it's like we're multidimensional. So we do come in choosing a certain life plan, and sometimes there's just a little bit more like work that needs to be done in a certain area for us to really clear and heal, and then see and then that pathway will open back for him to come home or find another place to live, or another, situation that's more healthy for him. But I do feel they're showing me and reassuring me that there are a lot of guides like around him right now. And just you asking this question is going to bring in more attention or awareness on that for him. In any ways that he might be struggling, he's going to get boosted up in the ways that he needs to feel empowered or strong. So I hope that helps you, Mary.
Wonderful. I'm feeling it's time to begin to end this transmission. What I want to just put out there first, if you're a medium and you want to come on and share your gifts and practices, come on, reach out to us, and we'd love to hear from you and see if you want to be on the show and if you'd be a good fit. Let me remind you that this Sunday, every Sunday now at 10 a.m., we are having morning meditations on my YouTube channel. So that's going to be at Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern. If this first one is going to be an activation, a spiritual activation for the solar eclipse happening on the Monday. So come back on Sunday and be that to be part of the spiritual activation. And this can only be done before the total solar eclipse. And it's really to help you prepare your body for the eclipse, open up your kundalini and your third eye. I'll also be talking about some of the precautions and preparations of what you want to be careful of. Specifically, if you want to go check out Rachel, check out the description below and find her on her Facebook group and her Patreon. The links are in the description below. In Facebook, you can do a search for medium Rachel Sawani, and you will find her name there. And if you want to reach out to me, again, you'll find my contact info for bookings, one-on-ones, readings, emotional releases, or Enlightened Mastery Group. Finally, on May 4th, Rachel and I are going to be opening up our 102 course. We had our 101 course of mediumship. If you want to build up your mediumship and expand out your own abilities, we've blocked out the dates of May 4th, and that link will be opening up soon over the next 2 weeks. Sign up for our newsletter if you want to be notified of when this release is happening, the discounts and anything else that's going to come through for our newsletter. Rachel, anything else you want to say before we say goodbye here?
No, just that if you're watching from Khan's channel, check out my YouTube channel to see some of my content. And then also everyone who's watching, don't forget to like the video so we can get more people to see it. And then last thing is, yeah, if you're on my YouTube channel, know that I've been doing most of my readings and channelings on my Patreon group, but I am in the process of shifting that around a little bit. So I hope to be getting more new content up on my channel soon as well from the different guides. And that's all for now. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on Sunday at 10 a.m. or back again next Friday at 12 Eastern. See you then, everybody. Much love. Bye.
Much love. Love.